What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and in today's video, I'm gonna show you a day in the life of a real estate investor that owns 99 units of rental real estate. And the reason I decided to do this video is I had a lot of people asking me, Chandler, how much time do you spend finding new deals? How much time do you spend managing your current properties? And where does your time go as a real estate investor compared to the other jobs that you do? And I think that the answer will surprise you. So with all of that being said, let's jump into it. All right, now to jump into things, if you're new to the channel, I currently own 99 units of rental real estate. Now from those 99 units, I cash flow about $211,000 per year. I also made a video that shows how I make over $70,000 from these properties in all of the different ways that I get paid a return from investing in real estate. And if you want to watch that video, you can click right here. The other thing you need to understand is I'm not a full-time real estate investor. As a matter of fact, I manage over 300 sales reps, and that's where the majority of my time goes. And real estate investing has always been a place for me to put my money to get a passive income, not to pick up another job or create an active income. The reason that I share this with you is my goal is always to build a passive income that doesn't require extra work on my end. As a matter of fact, I do everything that I can to minimize my work in real estate. Now, it's a hobby for me. It's something that I really enjoy, and it gives me the ability to pay for the cars and the house and the lifestyle and the things that I want, because I made a goal to purely live off of the passive income created through my real estate. Now, you can give me a hard time, not trying to do the Ty Lopez video, but I just want you to understand the background so that you understand that I do live off my real estate investments. It is a passive income that I live off of, and something that gave me the opportunity to start a YouTube channel talking about something that I love and that I'm passionate about, and so that you can smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And so even though I don't spend a ton of my time investing in real estate or finding deals or following up with my properties, I do have certain checks and balances that I like to do every single month to make sure that I'm getting the return that I should be getting and that everything is running smoothly. And so in this video, I'm gonna show you how much time I spend and what that time gets spent on. Oh, I love that. Essentially, the point I'm getting at is that I put all of the correct systems in place so that my management company can run everything. They literally don't need me for anything unless it's crazy or unless it's going to make a good YouTube video. Now, some of you might be saying, Chandler, what if crap hits the fan? What if your management company totally takes advantage of you? They're stealing money or they're not running things properly. The first answer to this is early on, I was very involved to make sure that things were being run properly. The second answer is I really trust my management company, and I've seen their track record. I've seen them do an incredible job and be extremely honest with me. And the third is that every single month I get a report of all of the key indicators that I want to know. I see how many of my units are filled. I see what the gross rents are. I see what the expenses are with notes on all of those expenses. And I sit down for maybe an hour every single month and go through the entire report of all of the expenses, what's going in, what's going out. And if anything looks out of the ordinary, then I call them up and I get an explanation. So even though I'm not there in the day to day, even though I'm not making the decisions, if a mistake happens, I can catch that and call them out. And the reality is I don't usually catch a lot of mistakes. And if I do find something that looks like a mistake, usually it has a good explanation that I can go and follow up on. So when it comes to actually keeping up with my properties, I don't spend more than 1 or 2 hours per month going over those numbers and making sure that things look clean. Now, on top of that, there's just making sure that the properties look clean, because if the money looks good, that's awesome. But then you want to make sure that your properties aren't being mismanaged, that the lawns look good, that the properties look good, that there isn't anything crazy. And so I'll randomly check up on properties. Now, I live in a small town, and so a lot of times I can be going out to dinner with my wife or meeting up with a buddy or doing whatever, and I can just swing by the property and make sure that things look like they're running properly. Now, sometimes I'll see that a tree is damaged, or I'll see that the lawn hasn't been mowed or something like that, but usually it's nothing major. Now, if I drove by and saw that the whole property was burned down, that'd be one thing, but usually it's just little tweaks where I can call the management company and say, hey, this looks a little rough. What are we doing to fix it? Is it already on your list? And the majority of the time they'll say, yes, we've got somebody going out to mow it tomorrow, or we've got this, that, or the other thing already ready. That's why I love investing where I live, is then I can consistently follow up with the properties and make sure that they're being taken care of. I can consistently follow up with the numbers to make sure I'm getting getting the return that I should be getting on the properties, and that expenses aren't too high, or that we don't have too much vacancy or something else that would be causing me to not get the return that I'm expecting. And that's what's so cool about a passive income. This is why I always push super hard for you to make sure that you get a management company and that you put your systems in place so that it can be actually passive. Because I promise you, if you're managing your properties on your own, you are gonna make way less per hour than the management company does, because they've got all of the connections, they've got the hookups, they've got the right people in the right places, and that's how they make a return. Trust the professionals to do what they're a professional at. Because if you don't, you end up in a situation where you're trying to do their job and you're not making money. It's incredible to me how many people won't get a management company because they want to save money, and then they end up in a situation where they're literally spending just as much because of the mistakes that they make, but they're spending a ton of their time. I'll tell you right now, my time is too important to do something that I'm not good at. Now, this isn't to minimize my management company. They do an incredible job and they make great money and they deserve it. But for me, if I were to manage those properties, my time would not be well spent because I can make more money doing other things, and I didn't invest in real estate for another job. I invested in real estate for a passive income. So when it comes to managing my properties, following up with them, making sure that they're running smoothly, it literally is 1 to 2 hours a week unless something crazy happens or something I can go and make a YouTube video out of. So for me, it's always hilarious when people will say, "Oh, Chandler, we know you're so busy working on your real estate stuff," and it's like, not really. I don't do much with real estate. I'm super busy with my sales organization and building my sales reps and building my leaders. And if you want to know more about that job, it is the best job on earth to help anyone that's between the age of 18 and 100 to be able to go out and make incredible money in a summer, learn leadership, be able to lead teams, get to the point where they're making big 6 figures leading teams and selling pest control. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you want to apply, you can click the link below and apply to see if you'd be a good fit to come and work with us. Now, that is all I do to maintain, manage, keep up with my properties, is look at those things. Now, the only other thing I would mention is sometimes there are renovations. A lot of those I've just given the go-ahead to my management company and they know what they're looking for. But if it's a bigger renovation that's over $5,000, I'll usually have them come to me and say, "Chandler, is this something that you want us to do now? We think maybe we could hold it off, or maybe we shouldn't. This is what our thought is. This is what we think we should do. However, what are your thoughts?" Maybe there are those calls every once in a while, but overall, it literally is 1 to 2 hours a month of follow-up on the properties. So that segues us into the next portion, which is, Chandler, how much time do you spend looking for deals and putting deals together? And the answer is, I am a big believer in the sprint. I have lived my life in sprints. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint," but I think life is a lot of little sprints. And so what I'll do is I work very hard to keep up good relationships with realtors. I work very hard to keep up good relationships with other real estate investors in my area, but there are definitely times where I've gone 2, 3, 4 weeks without shopping out a single deal because I'm hyper focused on generating income through my active income job, which is sales, or through creating content in YouTube. So that will hog a lot of my focus sometimes when I don't have time to focus on finding deals. But I'm constantly following up with realtors, wholesalers, investors, and friends throughout that time to keep those relationships going so that they know if a deal does come up, I know I'll jump into a sprint. And so when I see a really good deal, I jump all in. I drop everything. I work super hard and super fast to get in an offer and to jump on those properties. The other thing that I'll do is I'll put more focus into finding deals in the off seasons of my job. For example, in the winters, usually my sales job dies down to where it's only 20 or 30 hours of work per week. And so when I'm only putting in that much time in sales, I've got a lot more time to find new avenues of creating deal flow. And usually that's when I'll find the majority of my deals, because I'm making a strong push in the winter to find new deals. And so just remember, I'm a big believer that life is about sprinting at the right time. When those opportunities come and they're good opportunities, you have to know when to sprint. And if you know when to sprint, then you can capitalize on those opportunities. And so when people say, "How much time do you spend finding deals?" my answer is, well, it depends on the week. Some weeks, 0. Other weeks, I'll spend hours and hours diving in, analyzing deals, or analyzing a particular deal that I know meets the majority of my criteria, and I just need to see if I can make sure that the numbers work before I jump on it. The other thing that I've really worked hard to make sure I always make time for is hanging out with other like-minded people. This is something that is always a priority, not just for my sales job, but also for real estate investing, where if you're around the right people, you're put in a place where you're talking about business, you're talking about investing in real estate. One cool way that I've been able to do this is we actually have a group message with a bunch of our buddies. Now, a lot of these are my sales reps, but also there are some of them that are just real estate investors. And in this group text message, we've got about 15 of us. Now, in this message, we're constantly sending in deals, talking about those deals, talking about whether we should buy, whether we should sell, asking questions about 1031 exchanges, and anything else under the sun. And we also make sure that we make time at least once a month to meet out, play poker, and talk about real estate. And so to wrap up this video, I actually just got to Garrett's house. We're gonna meet up with a bunch of our buddies. We're actually gonna drive around. We're gonna look at deals, because at least once a month, and a lot of times in the slow season, even more than that, it's so fun to meet up with other like-minded people, go and look at properties, talk about your plans, talk about your goals, and it makes a huge difference. And so to wrap up this video, I'm actually on my way into Garrett's house right now, where we meet up with a bunch of our guys that are investing in real estate. And it's just one of those big things, but I have to end the video by having Garrett wrap it up. So Garrett, you know the routine.
Hit the smash like button, just like it.
All right guys, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future videos. Have a good day.
Hey, subscribe to my barbecue YouTube too. I'll probably start one at some point. Just stay tuned.